That's incredible.
The Cup Series field tried their luck in Las Vegas, where one driver will get the ultimate jackpot. Of course, some believe Christopher Bell has a winning hand, as he's won the last 3 races of the season. Others, not to fall for the fallacy of a hot streak, believe someone else will win the race. Michael McDowell leads the field to the green flag, but it doesn't take long for Logano to take the lead and run away with it. The first pit stop cycle of the race starts on lap 32, with Blaney having issues on his stop that make it longer than it should have. However, a wrench is thrown into the strategy, as Chase Briscoe loses a tire on lap 35. Busch gets a speeding penalty, as well as Hamlin during pit stops in the caution period. With the wrench already thrown, Cindric led the field into the restart, with Bowman close by, trying to take the lead away from him. And it wouldn't be too long until Wallace challenged the two. Despite this, Cindric would remain in the lead. The race would continue to flow without interruption, and Cindric would win the first stage of the race. Another speeding penalty hit Elliott during the stage break, and Cindric and Wallace would lead the field into the second stage. However, just sitting back in third was Larson as he took the battle to Wallace. A huge slowdown for Bowman as he has a loose wheel and hits pit road to fix it, and Wallace continues to pace the field. Larson would then execute a pass on the front stretch to take the lead momentarily. SVG spun coming off of turn 2 on lap 108 as he tried to overtake Nemechek. Bell's luck takes a hit as the tire is not tight enough and has to stop at his teammate's box to get it fixed. Wallace and Byron lead the field into the restart, but not long after, Busch loses a tire. Byron and Larson lead the field into the restart, and fortunately goes clean this time, with Larson gaining the lead shortly. SVG race still remains bad as he has a flat right front, but since no debris is on the racing surface, the rain remains clean. Gilliland hits the wall and the caution comes out in the midst of him trying to battle Stenhouse for position. Some drivers pitted, others did not pit, as they looked to garner stage points with 13 to go in the stage. Chastain and Jones would have the advantage as they led the field into the restart. Chastain manages to get away, but Jones falls into the Hendrick duo of Larson and Byron. But with a little help from Wallace, Jones is able to get away momentarily. Chastain remains in the lead, but Byron manages to close the gap and take the lead. Larson, however, takes the lead and wins the second stage. Gibson and Ty Dillon encountered penalties, with Gibbs having a speeding penalty and Ty Dillon having equipment removed from his pit. McDowell and Austin Dillon did not pit and went from 31st to 32nd to 1st and 2nd, deciding to test their luck after having the last pit stop 20 laps ago. Well, it looks like that didn't work as Larson gained the lead shortly after. And let's hear a warm welcome into the top half dozen for Blaney. Hopefully he gets back into the battle for the win near the end of this, where wrecks and sets up a tough scenario. Gibbs, whose pit stall is in front of Hosevars, gets hit. And amidst all that, Chastain takes a gamble with a 2-tire stop and leads the field into the restart. Shortly after the restart, Stenhouse goes for a spin and Blaney's comeback story comes to an end, as he, Jones, Wallace, and Austin Dillon get collected in an accident. With the caution, many drivers hit pit road to top off on fuel, as the window is barely open to make it to the end. Reddick and Suarez lead the field into the restart. SVG, my guy, you're just having a terrible day. He's down a tire coming off of turn 2, which turns out to be the finishing moment for him. As those further back fought for position, some more intense than others, Reddick continued to lead, but with 38 to go, Suarez would take the lead away. One more lead change would tie the number of lead changes in a race at Las Vegas, as Berry would pass Suarez for the top spot. And while he's in a good position, he's got Logano right behind him, who passes him for the lead shortly. The caution will come out with 25 to go. Busch had hit the wall exiting turn 2, but that wouldn't be the cause of the caution. Gragson destroys the right front of his car, and of course, debris from the damage would litter the racing surface. Suarez wins the race off pit road and garners the lead as a result. Logano would be mired back in traffic. With 19 to go, the race was on. Suarez and Berry would battle for the lead, who are having a really good days thus far. And it would become a 4-horse battle as Chastain and Byron join the front. Berry and Suarez continue to fight fiercely as the laps wind down, but soon, the 21 would pull away from the 99. And as the laps worn down, it became clearer and clearer. Josh Berry wins the Pennzoil 400 as he earns the Wood brothers their 101st win, making it the first back-to-back seasons with a win for the team since a very, very long time. Some will say Berry got lucky, but I'd say he earned it. Managed to stay in the top 10 and top 5 most of the race, and he was there when it mattered the most. Gotta say, I think the Wood brothers have found their driver since Blaney left. The top 3 remain unchanged, as other notes in the top 10 are Larson and Chastain making it in. Hamlin is the only driver to fall out of the top 10 in points. With the victory in Las Vegas, Berry goes from 21st to 13th in the standings. Suarez and Preece, who finished 2nd and 3rd respectively, get a much-needed boost to the cutoff line. Keselowski climbs to the top 30 in points, while Gibbs is stuck in 34th. After 5 races, this is how it is. You probably know what's going to happen from here on out. With the quest out west complete, the Cup Series heads on over to Homestead for the Straight Talk Wireless 400. This track gave us a great show in the final laps, and many of us are hoping that the track could put on another great show. Unfortunately, this track doesn't host the championship race, which is a bummer to many in the fanbase, but it'd be nice to see it back. But I'd say it's still good that they still race here, because we at least still get some good racing in the venue. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up. Kind of a quickie one right here, a bit of a longer race recap, and probably no news section, unfortunately, but yeah, that illness really did me in. But hey, at least I got something out for you folks. Well, hopefully next week it's back to regularly scheduled programming, or abnormally scheduled programming. Who knows how these things work. But bye.